You're watching Paper Loud. Stories you can feel. Questions that change you. Because every truth has a voice. Chronic pain loves sabotage. You get a shiny manual, a neat PDF, maybe even a therapist's pep talk. Week 1, you follow it like gospel. Week 3, it's buried in the drawer with the eat healthier and learn Spanish resolutions that died in 2017. The plan isn't the problem, the system is. Your body's alarm network acts like a paranoid janitor, jumping at every creak, every flicker, every twitch. Trying to tame that chaos with a rigid plan is like handing a smoke alarm a to-do list. Only beep when there's real fire. Nice idea, never works. That alarm will scream at toast, dust, shadows, sometimes at nothing at all. And your alarm network? Same circus, higher ticket price. Here's the point. Graded exposure, pacing, and exercise-induced hypoalgesia can help, but only when stitched into daily life. They shine in clinics, then shatter in kitchens, offices, and traffic jams. A plan that ignores crying kids, midnight shifts, or bosses emailing at 10 p.m. is as sturdy as origami in the rain. Without translation to the mess you live in, they stay theoretical, like gym membership receipts masquerading as fitness. Think detox teas, 3 days of, wow, I feel amazing. Then reality hits. You're dehydrated, cranky, and broke. If consistency depends on perfect days, the design is wrong, not you. Fear makes it worse. You start strong until the first flare. Pain spikes, progress feels erased, and the inner voice hisses, "See, you're broken." That belief derails more recovery than any wrong stretch ever could. It's not a character flaw, it's predictive coding gone feral. Your brain weights threats so heavily that any spike becomes a verdict. Cue the spiral. Fear, avoidance, deconditioning, more pain. Now zoom out. What was actually missing? Not motivation, not discipline, a buffer system. The gap between the neat plan and your messy life needs bridges, habit scaffolds, flexible slots, backup routes, group reinforcement, and a written playbook for bad days. Without these, even the best techniques have the durability of soap bubbles. Take your own manual. 15 minutes of exercises, mindfulness journaling, gradual activity. On paper, easy. In life, rotating shifts, 4 hours of sleep, a noisy flat. The plan fails not because it's bad, but because it's blind. Reviews from 2023-2025 hammer this home. Strategies only work if they flex with your rhythms, stress, and social context. Rigid plans are IKEA furniture without instructions. Sure, you've got wood and screws, but good luck building the bookcase. If posters healed people, clinics would have cured us with wallpaper. Imagine getting a 5-course recipe without a kitchen or electricity. When it flops, they blame you. The product is tidy, your life is not. 2 households, same plan. Person A, predictable hours, partner support. Person B, night shifts, single parent, neighbors who drop bowling balls at midnight, identical exercises, radically different outcomes. The second plan doesn't need more willpower. It needs modularity. 5-minute versions of every exercise, movable time windows, and a pre-agreed minimum viable day that still counts as success. Translation rule, designed for interruptions. Build every element in 3 sizes. XS, 2 to 5 minutes. M, 10 to 15 minutes. XL, 20 to 30 minutes. If the day explodes, drop to XS. If there's room, go M. On rare golden days, go XL. Content stays, dose flexes. Compliance stops being a coin toss. Anchor tasks to real cues. Stretch is vague. 2 hip hinges while the coffee brews is anchored. The brain learns by association. Attach actions to routines you already keep and friction drops. When in doubt, make the task smaller and the trigger clearer. Fear needs its own countermeasure. No plan is bulletproof without a relapse script. Evidence is consistent. 24 and 72-hour flare protocols plus pacing during relapse. Don't stop, just scale. Cut fear and keep you moving. Too often the only advice is stick to the plan, as if pain were a puppy that sits on command. Better expect flares, rehearse them, and treat each one like a fire drill. When the spike hits, don't negotiate with panic. Follow the script. Recovery isn't a straight highway. It's a B road with potholes and sheep. If the car jolts, it doesn't mean the engine failed. Slow, steer, continue. That's what a relapse plan is for. None of this requires perfection. It requires translation. Apps help because they live where you live. On the screen, you check between cat videos and grocery lists. Groups help because nervous systems borrow calm. Little wins help because the brain trusts what it repeats. The plan isn't wrong. The delivery system is. So yes, keep the manual, keep the exercises, keep the pacing rules, but stop pretending your calendar is a laboratory. Build bridges, size options, anchors, buffers, and a relapse script. Watch how the same content behaves differently in the real weather of your week. The tide is turning. Studies from 2023-2025 show that digital support, flexible manuals, group reinforcement, and written flare plans form a practical bridge. The future isn't perfect execution, it's constant recalculation. You don't fail the plan, the system reroutes you back onto it. So where do those recalculations live? Likely in your pocket already. Block 2 explores why the next chapter of pain therapy isn't in binders, but in your smartphone. Digital helpers, when your phone handles pain better than your discharge papers. The future of pain therapy isn't a binder of exercises collecting dust, it's your smartphone. Digital tools have rescued treatment plans from collapse more than the classic advice to just stick to it. Apps aren't side dishes anymore. They're nervous system hackers that slip into your pocket without asking permission. Apps like Help or Deborah aren't just motivational calendars. They deliver nudges, track flare-ups, and turn chaos into patterns. The brain craves feedback, and if that feedback comes in colorful graphs or push notifications, so be it. A streak counter isn't magic, but it tricks the reward system just enough to keep the wheels turning. Instead of vague promises, move more, stress less, the phone translates them into bite-sized pings. Stretch here, breathe there, walk now. Be honest. Which do you check more, your exercise manual or WhatsApp? That's why researchers moved therapy to the one place you can't ignore, between cat videos and grocery lists. Studies from 2023-2025 show this isn't hype. Telemedicine check-ins, app-based flare management, and digital feedback loops boost compliance/relapse fear and extend benefits long after clinic visits end. A 12-week app-based back pain program cut pain intensity by over 3 points on the numeric scale. Think flossing. Everyone knows they should do it. Almost no one does. Until their phone buzzes, quick stretch before Netflix. Suddenly, compliance skyrockets. But digital tools only help when they're flexible. An app that screams 15 minutes of mindfulness at 6 p.m. sharp is as useless as a dusty binder. People aren't machines. A single parent juggling night shifts and toddlers needs options, not guilt trips. The best apps adapt, rescheduling, scaling tasks, reframing relapse as practice instead of failure. Example, you open the app at midnight after a brutal shift. Instead of shaming you for missing a session, it offers a 3-minute minimum viable routine, 2 stretches in a short breathing drill. You finish, log it, and the streak survives. That tiny success reframes the day from failure to maintained momentum. Freiburg's 2025 pilot projects nailed this. Telemedicine blended with self-management, group chat support, and emergency flare protocols. Patients didn't just get exercises, they got therapists in their pocket, peers on standby, and a playbook when life exploded. Dropouts fell, self-efficacy rose, outcomes strengthened. Instead of lonely checklists, recovery became a shared project. Once upon a time, it was ask your doctor or pharmacist. Now it's check the app, and if it's urgent, maybe the chatbot. Critics wave the flag of digital barriers, privacy fears, tech skepticism, bad Wi-Fi. But let's be real. The same people worried about pain apps already share half their lives with TikTok, Alexa, and Google Maps. The barrier isn't data, it's trust. Trust builds when apps are transparent, personalized, and backed by clear safety nets. Here's why they work. The brain is built on repetition. Habits carve grooves like trails in a park. Apps lay the trail, remind you to walk it, and cheer you for each lap. Motivation is sugar and coffee, nice but gone in minutes. Habits are concrete. That's why digital nudges matter. They replace pep talks with cues the nervous system respects. Practical tip: anchor one digital nudge to a routine. If your phone buzzes at 8 a.m. with 2 squats while the coffee brews, you build an association that outlasts motivation. Layer enough anchors and they become autopilot. That's how relapse resistance is built, not with willpower, but with repeated cues that make the choice the default. Some sneer, apps are just crutches. And yes, sometimes they are. But crutches matter when you can't walk. Digital crutches, same deal, until the nervous system steadies itself. The smartest twist is reframing relapse. Instead of catastrophe, it becomes routine. An app can act like a sober coach. Flare detected, reduce activity, maintain light movement, restart in 48 hours. No drama, no shame, just navigation. Relapse stops being a verdict and becomes another rep in training. And when these tools link to social dynamics, peer groups, chat rooms, daily challenges, the effect multiplies. Nervous systems crave social safety. A digital tribe normalizes setbacks and amplifies wins in ways no manual ever could. One person's relapse becomes the group's lesson. One person's win becomes the group's encouragement. The power isn't the app alone, it's the fusion of tech and tribe. Take the patient who nearly quit after a flare. At 10 p.m., their phone pinged, "Log your day, even if you did less." They hesitated, logged a tiny effort, and found 5 peers had done the same. Instead of shame, there was solidarity. That night didn't mark failure, it marked belonging. So, if Block 1 showed why rigid plans collapse, Block 2 proves where recalculation lives, not in binders, but in the buzzing rectangle already glued to your palm. So what about the dreaded flare-ups, the sudden spikes that convince your recovery was a lie? Block 3 reveals why flares aren't failure at all, but the nervous system's practice field. Flare management, when setbacks aren't failure, but fire drills. Every chronic pain patient knows this moment. Things are finally improving, then the pain explodes. One bad day, one spike, and the thought slams in, it's back, everything was pointless. That story is the real danger, not the flare itself, but the belief it means game over. Imagine learning guitar, hitting a wrong chord and saying, "Well, that's it. Guess I'll never touch music again." Ridiculous, yet with pain? One flare, and people toss the whole instrument. Science has a better playbook. Evidence-based protocols call it 24 or 72-hour flare management. The rules are blunt. Scale down, don't shut down. Pace what you can. Keep moving in smaller doses. Keep routines alive. Return to baseline within 3 days. It's not magic. It's training the nervous system that flares are speed bumps, not cliffs. Clinical trials confirm it. Patients with structured flare plans recover faster, fear less, and drop out less. Instead of panic, they have a checklist. Reduce load, maintain light motion, prioritize sleep, restart gradually. Suddenly, a flare isn't proof of failure, but proof of practice. The nervous system rehearses recovery the same way muscles rehearse strength. It's like driving on ice. If you've rehearsed a skid, you tense less, steer smoother, and get back on track. If you haven't, hello ditch. The tragedy? Most patients never get this training. They leave therapy with the vague mantra, "Be careful." So the first flare feels like a death sentence. The fear cycle tightens. Pain to fear to avoidance to weakness to more pain. Cue despair. Newer programs flip the script. Patients rehearse flares like fire drills. They build emergency scripts. Who to call, which exercises to scale back, which to keep. Some apps even auto-detect flares, sending instant nudges. Lower dose today, light walk, resume tomorrow. The effect? Confidence instead of chaos. concrete steps every patient can use. Write a flare checklist in advance. 3 scaled-down activities you can still do. Pre-planned recovery windows, 24-hour and 72-hour scripts with lighter versions of your routines. Notify a flare buddy, someone who reminds you relapse is normal, not doom. Use tracking tools, note triggers, recovery speed, and wins, and end each flare with a marker of success, a short walk, a stretch, or even logging the event. The nervous system learns closure. Think of setbacks as bad dates. Annoying? Sure, but if you learn what not to do next time, that wasn't failure, it was training. The evidence stacks up. Programs teaching flare protocols don't just lower pain intensity, they crush the fear of relapse. Fear is rocket fuel for chronicity. Remove it, and the engine sputters. A patient who once collapsed into bed for 3 days now follows a 72-hour script. Day 1, reduce load, stretch gently. Day 2, short walk. Day 3, back to baseline. The flares haven't vanished, but the panic has. She's stronger, more functional, more confident. Consider another case, a young office worker with migraines triggered by long screen hours. In the past, each flare meant canceling work, retreating to bed, and fearing the next attack. With the flare script, the approach shifted. Day 1, dim screens, hydrate, 20 minutes rest. Day 2, reduced screen time plus light yoga. Day 3, gradual return to full workload. The result? Work continues, fear shrinks, and each flare loses its catastrophic weight. Recovery isn't the absence of bumps, it's learning suspension. Good shocks don't remove potholes, but they keep the ride tolerable. And here's the paradox. Setbacks are not bugs. They're features. They're the nervous system's training ground. Each flare handled well is a rep in resilience. Each script followed is evidence that the body can absorb chaos without breaking. Think about what this does psychologically. The first time you survive a flare with your checklist, the story changes from "my body betrayed me" to "my body is practicing." Stress hormones drop, vigilance eases, and recovery accelerates. That new story is itself a treatment. Repeat it enough times and the nervous system files it as new evidence. Danger downgraded. Patients who internalize this shift often report unexpected spillovers. One said, "If I can ride out a flare, maybe I can also ride out a tough meeting." Another, "I stopped fearing setbacks at work because I'd rehearsed them in my body." The skill of reframing crosses domains and shrinks anxiety well beyond pain. If you think recovery is a highway with no potholes, you're in for disappointment. It's more like a country road, bumpy, under construction, but you still get where you're going. So, the lesson of Block 3 is clear. Flares aren't the end of progress, they're practice sessions for resilience. With scripts, checklists, and the right story, each spike becomes another rep, not an ending, but rehearsal for stronger tomorrow. But even with flare plans, who actually sticks it out long term? What keeps people climbing after the workshop glow fades? Block 4 dives into the secret engines, habits, groups, and the underestimated power of self-efficacy. Group dynamics and habits. Healing is a jam session, not a solo. One of the oldest myths in pain recovery is that it's a solo sport. If you're tough enough, disciplined enough, you'll push through. That myth is as stubborn as gum under a school desk and just as hard to scrape off. Reality check, most people don't stick with it alone. Data from 2023-2025 is blunt. Group-based programs outperform solo ones. Interdisciplinary, multimodal pain therapy in groups delivers more durable coping skills, lower fear, and better function. Why? Because the nervous system is wired for connection. Safety isn't just internal, it's social. When others nod and say, "Yep, me too," your brain recalibrates. Sure, you can do squats alone in your living room, but try them with 10 others, one of which is doing them worse than you, and suddenly it feels doable. Groups act as amplifiers. One person's success becomes everyone's encouragement. One person's relapse becomes normalized, not catastrophic. Fear shrinks when shared. A flare isn't proof of doom, it's part of the collective journey. And when the group celebrates micro wins, the nervous system encodes them as evidence of safety. But groups are only half the equation. The other half is habit formation. 6 to 12-week programs don't work because of early wins. They work because they hardwire routines. Micro actions repeated daily carve grooves into the nervous system until they feel automatic. Practical example, instead of 30 minutes of exercise, it's squats while the coffee brews. Instead of mindfulness as a solemn ritual, it's 2 deep breaths while waiting for the bus. Habits thrive in context, not in theory. No one needs another to-do list, but anchor squats to coffee or stretches to Netflix, and suddenly you're Pavlov's dog, just with healthier tricks. 3 rules drive habit formation: context, reward, repetition. Tie an exercise to an existing routine, add a small reward. Yes, the app can cheer, and repeat daily until it sticks. Motivation is fickle. Habits survive fatigue, stress, and bad days. This is why plans that lean on motivation alone collapse, while habit-based approaches endure. Now combine the 2 forces, groups plus habits. That's the turbocharger. Shared routines like 5 minutes of stretching, proof pic in the group chat, turn personal struggle into social commitment. Studies show pure accountability magnified. Case study: a rehab group where each member commits to logging 1 habit per day. When someone misses, others check in, not with judgment, but with solidarity. Over 12 weeks, attendance skyrockets, flare fear drops, and participants describe themselves not just as patients, but as teammates. Identity shifts from isolated sufferer to resilient player in a band. Another example, online support groups using messenger apps. Members share tiny wins, a walk to the mailbox, a night with less pain, a breathing session before sleep. The posts are short, sometimes just emojis, but the effect is massive. Each update creates a chain reaction: encouragement, humor, gentle competition. Suddenly, healing feels less like homework and more like being part of a jam session where everyone brings their instrument. Anyone who claims they don't need group support is either lying or has monk-level discipline. For the rest of us, groups are dopamine on tap. Self-efficacy, the belief "I can do this," skyrockets when wins are visible and shared. Patients report, "If they keep going, I'm not dropping out." Relapses lose sting because they're normalized. Successes multiply because they're witnessed. The psychological scaffolding matters as much as any physical exercise. But beware, groups can cut both ways. If sessions devolve into competitive suffering, my pain is worse than yours, they turn into misery clubs. That's why structure and moderation matter. Effective groups focus on progress, not misery marathons. There are 2 kinds of groups, the ones that pull you up and the ones that pitch tents in the valley of complaints. Guess which ones actually heal? So what's the lesson? Recovery sticks when exercises become social rituals and plans become habits. Not magic, not miracle, just neuroplasticity doing its job in the messy reality of daily life. To make it practical, here are 3 steps. Join or create a group. Even 2 peers checking in daily is enough. Anchor 1 habit to an existing routine: coffee, brushing teeth, bedtime. Track and share progress, photos, chat updates, or app logs. Visibility multiplies consistency. A solo violin is fine, but a full band? That's what turns practice into music. Paid recovery works the same way. But even habits and groups don't answer the biggest question. How do you rewrite the nervous system's script so pain becomes background noise instead of the headline? Block 5 brings the synthesis and the way out of the maze. Rewriting the script, from noise to narrative. Chronic pain recovery is often sold as a finish line. Do the plan, survive the setbacks, join the group, and one day you'll be cured. But reality doesn't tie things up with Hollywood endings. Pain doesn't vanish overnight. What changes is the script your nervous system runs, and the role you give yourself inside it. For years, the default script is fear. Every twinge equals threat. Every flare equals failure. That script burns itself so deeply into the nervous system that it becomes the headline of daily life. Danger, broken, hopeless. No wonder patients feel trapped. It's like your brain's newspaper only has one section: disaster. Who wants a subscription to that? The real goal isn't erasing pain, it's rewriting the narrative. Science calls it predictive coding. Translation: the brain doesn't just register signals, it interprets them. If your story screams danger, the volume of pain skyrockets. If your story shifts to practice, progress, resilience, the signal quiets. Same input, different output. We've seen the tools already. Block 1, rigid plans collapse without translation. Block 2, digital nudges build bridges in real life. Block 3, flares are fire drills, not failures. Block 4, groups and habits turn lonely struggles into rituals of safety. Now the synthesis. When these pieces combine, the nervous system relearns. Pain becomes background noise, not the front page headline. The volume doesn't need to hit 0 for life to feel livable. Think of it like a band rehearsal. At first, the drums, pain, drown everything else out. But when bass, guitar, and vocals join in, habits, creeps, and scripts, the drums are still there, just not the only thing you hear. Take a patient named Mara. For years, she framed flares as proof of doom. Every spike meant quitting. After training, her script flipped. Flares became reps. My nervous system is practicing. She used an app to log microhabits, joined a group that normalized relapses, and rehearsed flare protocols like fire drills. 6 months later, pain didn't vanish, but her life did. She danced again, worked part-time, laughed without waiting for the crash. Or Sam, who once defined himself as broken. Group accountability plus habit anchoring reframed him as resilient. He stopped seeing himself as a patient and started seeing himself as a coach for others. Same nervous system, different story. Identity is the secret sauce. Once you stop saying, "I am broken," and start saying, "I am someone who adapts," the nervous system follows suit. This is the paradox. The exit from the maze isn't erasing every signal, it's downgrading their meaning. The sirens keep wailing, but you learn which ones are false alarms. And with each false alarm ignored, the system calms down. So, the final takeaway: you are not failing when pain lingers. You are retraining a system, rehearsal by rehearsal. The goal is not silence, but music. Life where pain is part of the score, not the conductor. Healing isn't a miracle cure, it's a remix. Same notes, different arrangement, and suddenly you can dance again. But this isn't the end of the story. It's the start of a new script. Because the question that remains is, if you can rewrite pain, what else in your life is waiting for a new headline? And that's where we land. Not with the fairy tale of everything's fine now, but with the truth. Your nervous system doesn't switch off like a cheap alarm clock, but you can turn the volume down. You can turn sirens into background noise. If this hit you, stick around, because at Paper Loud, we don't do empty comfort. We tell stories that bruise, provoke, and hopefully change the way you see yourself. So subscribe, drop your thoughts below, tell us what grabbed you most here. What question still burns in your head? Your comment could shape our next deep dive. Paper Lab means this: pain doesn't disappear, but you decide whether it steals the spotlight or just plays rhythm in the back. We hand you the tools. The stage, that's yours. Take care. Bye.